I always find beauty in diversity. Look at people who have stood up on the stage today. All the stories that we heard, there's just a variety of diversities in them, and we all benefit from that. Me, for example, when I was little, I tried to live a different life, to live a diverse life as much as possible. So I tried to work as a researcher. I tried to work in the nonprofit sector. In China, we call it NGO sector. And I tried to work in the business sector, to work for startups. And also tried to do a freelance job. I even became a naked model for once. However, gradually I find that gender diversity is something I feel deeply passionate about. Have anyone here felt anything that to do with themselves in life about gender? Please raise your hand. Anytime you come across a question that's about gender, anytime that you feel something awkward because of gender. I feel gender diversity is extremely important and it means dearly to me. Because first of all, I think it helps us build personal integrity. I remember before I fully accepted who I am, I had to tell lies, and how to tell a lie and to make up the last lie. And I build walls around me. I don't talk to my family. I don't talk to my good friends because I'm worried that they will poach around and ask strange questions I don't know how to answer. Second of all, I think gender diversity can also help us to strengthen our empathy. Since I feel, I was a bit different, but I try to understand others. I no longer only focus on myself. I started looking around people surrounding me. And I felt, who doesn't have a closet? There are people with disabilities. There are people who don't want to marry. There are people who do not follow their parents' path, the path that their parents set for them. We all have to come up at a certain stage. Lastly, I think gender diversity can help us get connected and appreciate differences. In the Chinese society, with the culture, with everything, we're trying to make a homogeneous society. And we always kind of overlook differences, and we kind of try to forget that there are people who are different, and there are people who are not falling into the majority group. But we are people. We are all people. We have these equal rights. So I have to do something about promoting gender diversity in China. Where should I start? I don't know where you guys want to start, but I start from somewhere very small. It's a toilet. I was sitting in a bathroom, talking through my cell phone, and by live broadcasting, I was sharing my ideas, why I want to promote all-gender toilet in China. The story, actually, we were inspired by the lady standing in the middle. Her name is Mr. Q. She was born in a male's body, but she prefers to dress like a lady, and she considers herself gender-free. One day she went to a shopping mall in Beijing, and she wanted to use the bathroom. Usually, she thought, I might not passable all the time, so she would choose the accessible toilet first. However, on that day, it doesn't work. It was locked. And she thought, I have to pee, right? And since I still have male genitals, probably it's easier for me just go into the men's room. However, the cleaning lady stopped her, saying, no, lady, this is your side. Just go this side. And she thinks, what the heck? I need to pee, and since there will be all the cubicles in the ladies' room, it doesn't matter, right? So once she went in and did all her stuff, she heard there's a turmoil outside of the toilet. I think, and also she thought, that the cleaning lady thought something was different. So she called in the floor manager, the security managers, and they ridiculed her. They said, "You're a freak. How come you're still living on this earth? And you had to leave this shopping mall through the back door." You know, that is something I don't agree. People have to be treated equally, especially for people who are not falling into the gender binary system. Also, you can see we start from collecting stories. It's not only one story. It's not only just one exception. We organize several offline events, and people share their stories with their awkwardness with using public toilets in China. And we started talking to the businesses. And we say, we need to provide another option for people who are not falling into the gender binary system. There has to be a way for them to use public toilet, and they have to feel safe. So they all agreed. More than 60 businesses, UN branch offices in Beijing, and NGOs and the foundations, you all agreed to change their bathrooms into all-gender toilet. So we thought, great, that's a good start. However, that's probably that's a technical solution, right? You may want to debate. We're not solving any root causes, of course. And I feel from the toilet, we can start building an alliance. We need people who understand the importance of gender diversity and gender equality. So we do not only provide an option, we provide a small ecosystem. We work with businesses, UN branch offices, academic, media, and activists to make a gender-friendly alliance that by growing this little community, one day we might make a bigger change in the society. Because of things that we did, we were able to bring LGBT issues on CGTN, on China National Television Network. It's one of the rare occasions that we talk about LGBT issues and pink economy for 30 minutes in China. You may say, well, who else? We can all get on TV, right? Now we all need something new, and if you have an idea, we can just throw you and put you on TV. That's correct. But what is the profound root cause of gender inequality? And we're not celebrating gender diversity in China. I feel that is probably about discrimination. The root cause of discrimination is ignorance, misunderstanding, and biases. By fighting those critical elements, we have to work together. It's not only about LGBT people, it's migrant workers, it's people with disabilities, it's people who have HIV/AIDS. So this is something we do. China AIDS Walk is a public awareness raising and fundraising drive to raise money to benefit HIV/AIDS movement in China. And this is the 6th year we organize this event. Every year we mobilize our fans to form into little fundraising teams and to ask for donation from their friends, 10, 20, 100. Every time they reach out to a new friend, they have to explain why HIV/AIDS and discrimination matter to them. By doing this, over the past 60 years, we've raised more than 800,000 Chinese yuan for a grassroots project. And we use the money to support children, the children who are affected by HIV/AIDS. Their parents are HIV positive, but children are healthy, but they cannot take their mother's milk. So we provide the milk powder for them. And also, we give grants to support students, youth, grassroots, NGOs to carry out all kinds of activities to help people raise awareness about HIV/AIDS, about discrimination, about gender diversity, and to try to let people understand it is important for us to take actions. And this is the way we celebrate our work. So we have people to join us, and they just make it fun, it's, to work in the nonprofit sector is not always about, we cry, we beg people to do stuff, but we are having fun. And this year, we have more than 180 people joining us. And actually, there is a special team who's from an international school in Beijing, and 25 kids from the school, they raised more than 11,000 Chinese yuan, sorry. And so which occurred to me next year, I would sincerely hope that some of you guys might join us on the wall to raise money and to raise awareness against HIV/AIDS. You may ask, why I'm doing all this? I also asked myself about this. I felt, first of all, for the most important part, there should be a way that we talk about this, talk about gender diversity and LGBT issues in China openly and freely. That is also something triggered me 3 years ago to step into the gender movement in China. 3 years ago, when I was still working at a Chinese domestic foundation, we worked on children's healthcare. I had nothing to do with LGBT activism at that time. I only spent some of my spare time to volunteer for a few projects. One day, through my connections, I got invited to a seminar to discuss the legal registration issues about grassroots LGBT NGOs in China. You can probably imagine how excited I was, because that would be my first time to interact with the real leaders, the activists that I've heard so many times through rumors, from news. On the day of the seminar, I got there so early that I had enough time to have a good breakfast, and I took a walk. 15 minutes prior to the seminar, I arrived at the hotel. Something was wrong. From a few years of working experience in the nonprofit sector, I just know this wasn't a seminar. Because there were no people coming in and out and greeting each other, and it's deadly quiet. There were people standing outside the hotel. They were not wearing any uniforms. But I can tell, my gut says, they are not from a hotel. They are probably from authorities. I went inside the hotel. I need to know, if there is a seminar I need to get into, right? I walk inside the hotel, and you guys have to know, I was smart enough that I pretend I went inside to use the bathroom. So I noticed there's a board in the middle of the lobby saying some seminar was canceled. I left quickly because a guy came up to me, and I'm for sure he's not working at the hotel. He asked me, "Are you here for the seminar?" I said, No. I just use the bathroom. So I left. On the way back, I started to contact people that I think who might have knowledge about this. And after a while, everything is clear. That people who were organizing this and the people who were planning to attend this, they were traveling from different provinces and cities to Beijing to participate in this seminar. They were taken away by the police in the middle of the night. Luckily, they were still okay to use their cell phones. They were just not allowed to participate in the seminar and discuss LGBT issues. So that's why I got so angry. I got so humiliated. I got so sad, disappointed. Why there is no such a small space for us to talk about LGBT and the gender diversity issue in China. So I must take actions. So besides the two projects, I actually traveled to Southeast Asia and Greater China for 5 months to do a field research. Actually, after that, I've been continuing with this project through this day. So I built a little database of knowledge of all the historical moments of LGBT movement in China in the past 35, 40 years. And I've mapped out who are doing what. I try to understand what is going on in the sector that I care about. And when I talk to people, I collect stories. I collect more than 160 stories. I try to understand what types of leadership are required. And then I ask myself, and I hope you guys can try to do this as well, where do I fit? So after a long process and experiments, I come up with this dream. I felt there are so many different needs for gender diversity, and it is not only in China, it is in Asia, it is in the world. But there are some common themes across the board. We need understanding, we need to try to appreciate differences, and we need to respect each other. To respect other people's life and respect our life. And also, there's a profound need of money. To support anything, we need money, and we need people who do actual work. So here comes my new dream that I want to do in the next 5, 7, 10 years, or even my whole life. That I wanted to build the first ever grant-making institution in China to support gender diversity work. I need to raise money and to ask help from you guys to help me build this new foundation. And I hope you guys can join me into my dream to do 3 things. First, let's close the information gap. Because there's so much misunderstanding. There's not enough discussion about the gender, about our awarenesses. So let's try to use every way that we have to mitigate the misunderstanding. And second, let's be connected. Let's share stories, and let's talk to each other and think about why gender matters to you, and why gender matters to you with everything else. Your income, your walk of life, your social background, anything. And then, let us empower the youth. We need generation of people who think that we have to fight for gender equality and gender diversity in China. If there's no people to join us in the future, and there will be no people to feel empowered enough to do stuff in their own context, in their own communities, we won't achieve anything. So I'm here to encourage you to think more about gender issues in your own life. And if you feel there's anything connected to my dream, please join me to promote a more equal, justable, and diverse society. Thank you.